Today I'm getting to try the power tool, and that is, I'm going to be testing out this Clawlab H1 Tufting Gun. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Felicia from SweetGeorgia and also the School of SweetGeorgia. And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. As you know, I do lots and lots of things in the fiber arts. I knit and I spin, weave, dye, all of those things. But I've never done this before. So this is the Clawlab Tufting Gun. It's the H1 Tufting Gun. Now, before we dive in, this is full disclosure. This video is not sponsored, but Clawlab did gift me this kit with the frame and the gun so that I could test it out and share my experience with you. Now, we do have an affiliate link and a discount code in the description box below. So if you decide to grab one, we do receive a commission, which helps support this channel. So my goal today is to actually answer two questions. The first is, how does this thing even work? The second question is, can I use my sort of existing stash of knitting yarn to make something with this tool and this technique? And I also want to compare it a little bit to my experience of using a manual punch needle. Now, as I get started with this tool and this technique, I have done a little bit of practicing, but my goal was to actually try to make a mini rug version of the Wallace pillow design by Sahm Jalbert from Kussen Kiss. Now, Sam actually teaches a fantastic punch needle course for us on the School of SweetGeorgia. And so I thought that this would be an interesting way to compare my experience of that manual punch needle with this more automated tufting gun technique. So first, let's talk about the setup. Usually, the barrier to entry for tufting is building a massive wooden frame that you can use to stretch out your fabric or your canvas. And that can be very, very intimidating in terms of that step. But this kit came with an aluminum metal frame that claims to be very, very easy to assemble. So you can see the frame here. This was actually very, very easy to set up. It was actually incredibly fast to set up. There were no complicated tools needed. In fact, they supply this tiny little screwdriver, but it's just so tiny, and this is all you need in order to set up this entire frame. I set this up at the studio originally, and then Charlotte popped in and she also helped me sort of screw the pieces together, and it was actually very, very easy to set up. The only little hiccup that we ended up with is that in order to open the little claws that allow you to fit the frame onto your desk, one of the clamps opened just fine, and the other one was a little bit jammed up. And so we reached out to the Clawlab team, and they said sometimes that happens where you just have to put a little bit of rubbing alcohol into that sort of screw area and then loosen it, because there might be some glue that's stuck in there. And so we did that. It loosened up fine and it's working perfectly. So I managed to bring home the frame and set it up here on my desk at home here. The instructions are very clear and it's really helpful. I mean, all of the fabric is set up on a roller up here, and then you feed it through the bars that are at the top and the bottom of the frame. And then using these little rollers, you can just click, click, click to tighten the fabric on the frame. And it makes your fabric nice and taut. So that's nice and firm. There's also grips on the sides of the frame, and they allow you to pull the fabric widthwise and stretch it out that way. So all of this fabric feels great. It's firm. It is ready to go. Now we can look at the gun itself. Now, if you were a beginner like me, I did not know anything about this gun. With punch needle, you are taking the tool and you're carrying the yarn, punching it through the fabric, and then when you draw the tool out, you leave a loop of yarn stuck into the canvas. Now, with this tool, it looks very similar. It has a similar type of punch tool where you can punch through the fabric, and you're carrying your yarn through there as well. But there's a tiny little scissor clip underneath. And so every time you punch the yarn through the fabric, it's leaving the yarn in, but then it cuts it off and it leaves a little tuft of yarn in the fabric. So you can literally paint your color or your yarn into the fabric, because you're punching and then it's feeding yarn into the fabric, cutting it off, leaving a little chunk of it in there, and then going to the next one, and then leaving a chunk in there, leaving a chunk in there, leaving a chunk in there, which is how you get all of this sort of little cut pile happening right here. Now, the gun attaches to power using a USB-C cable, so just we'll pop that in there. And then there is a little power switch down here. So once you power on, you can see that there's a LED light that shows you what's going on here. So if you dial it all the, So if you dial it all the way to the slowest speed, okay, this is for the speed adjustment. We're going to dial it all the way down, and you can see that the whole indicator is blue. The whole circle is blue. When you start to dial up, you're going to see a little bit more green around this ring, and then that's going to change the speed. But I'll just show you. This is the slow speed. So if you see really up close, underneath there's the scissors that are coming out to grab and cut the yarn that's being left in the fabric. So that's the slowest speed. Now, the Clawlab recommendation for beginners is that you turn the dial so that there's about 1/5 green. So that's about there. And so that's the speed that they recommend for beginners. Now, I did find that it's actually easier after a little bit of practice, just getting familiar with the tool, that when you're going a little bit faster, it works a little bit better. And so I dial it all the way so the whole thing is green. And that's the fastest speed that you're going to get. It's actually pretty quiet. I mean, it's not quiet enough to watch TV with your family, but it's quiet enough. You put on some headphones and you're doing your own thing. It's actually not stressful at all. Now, for some of my very first experiments, I used the yarn that came with the kit. So you can see they actually supplied 10 different colors of yarn. This is like the milk cotton. I believe that this is the 8-ply stuff. So it's actually very, very thick. This is like a bulky weight yarn. This is, yeah, definitely heavier than worsted. This is a bulkier weight yarn. And I just did a little bit of blue just to test it out. And then immediately from there, I thought, well, let's try some of my own yarn. Let's try some of my stash yarn. So this is some of our SweetGeorgia Trifecta Fine yarn. This is a Blueface Leicester wool, mohair, and silk blend. And this is just left over from another weaving project that I had. And so I thought, oh, why don't we try that? So I just fed one strand in. Maybe you can see it's really very choppy, and it was fine, and it was definitely not enough, and there was bald spots everywhere. So that was not enough. I added a second strand and I tried again, and again there's like bald spots, there's yarn falling out. It's not really a good look. So then I pulled together 4 strands, and they're all coming off cones, so that the yarn can come off very easily. There's no tension holding back or anything like that. But 4 cones of yarn held together. These are all fingering weight yarns held together. And then I managed to get some better filled in spots here. Now, it's one thing for you to see what it looks like on the pile side. It might look nice and filled in, but if you come and look on the back side where I'm actually working, you'll see that it's actually pretty choppy. And the reason is because there's not enough width or girth of yarn to stay locked into the fabric. The hole that is being left by the punch itself is big, and so when you have thin yarn that you're trying to put through a big hole, it's just going to fall out. And so you need quite a lot of yarn to go through that punch, so that way when you cut the yarn off, it will remain in the fabric. It'll stay there. So with the 4 strands held together, I was able to get a little bit more coverage. Now, the other thing that made a difference was making sure that you hold the gun perfectly perpendicular to the fabric, but also pushing very firmly against the fabric. If you're kind of like halfway in, halfway out, or you let the gun vibrate back and forth, the yarn placement is going to be very choppy and messy. So you can see that as I continued on, more and more practice and pressing more firmly, I managed to get a couple of really nice, straight, clean lines with my practice. And then I moved back to trying with the milk cotton and doing a few more tests, testing slower speed versus faster speed and things like that. And I found that faster speed works better, and pressing more firmly against the fabric works better. Now, if you do happen to make a mistake and you really don't like your work, you can just pull the yarn out. You can just pull the pieces out if you don't like it. So it's easy to correct a mistake if you've made a mistake, because you can just pull the yarn out and then start again. So in order to prepare for making the punch needle design that Sam created, that pillow design, I held the pattern behind the fabric and I was able to see through the fabric, and then I just simply drew on with a little bit of a marker so that I know exactly where I'm going to be punching. So really the next thing I need to do is just to wind all my yarn so that it's ready to go and be able to punch with it. And it just flows through here very quickly, very easily. Now, together with the gun, they've provided a whole bunch of little accessories here. There's a little bit of oil to lubricate your gun. There is a few yarn needles. So these are yarn threading needles. And there's a couple of Allen keys and a little tool to clean your gun. So I have had a little bit of a go with the tufting gun, with trying to put in some of my BFL and Silk DK yarn into the pattern that is going to be like this Wallace pillow style mini rug, and I'm just trying it out. And I'm going to give you some of my very initial thoughts on tufting. I think that the tool is great. The tool is amazing. It's easy to use. It's light. It's quiet. All of those things, fantastic. The frame itself is also great. It's portable. It's lightweight, but it's also sturdy and it holds the fabric really nice and taut. All of that stuff is good. I think tools-wise, this is a great kit if you want to get started. I think that when you, like I did, look at a whole bunch of videos on Instagram or on TikTok or on YouTube of people using a tufting gun and creating like an amazing rug first time ever, and I think that maybe those people are super gifted, but I found that my personal experience was it's going to require a bit of practice. And so maybe I'm being very critical of myself, but from the back side of the work, it looks really, really choppy. It's terrible, but that's it's a me problem. It's not a tool problem. It is very much a it's very much a me problem. So one of the things that I think will really, really help is to make sure that your yarn is flowing off of the cone or ball, however you want to use it. The yarn needs to flow very, very freely. If there is any amount of tension pulling back on your yarn, it will come out of the tool, it will not go into the fabric, and you end up with a mess. So that's where those bald spots are happening, is where the yarn is not necessarily feeding freely to the punch tool. The other thing is that yes, you can absolutely use your stash yarn, you can burn through your stash yarn, basically any amount of yarn that you can squeeze through the fabric and then have it stay there is great. It's going to stay, it's going to work. Now the trouble is that yes, you can burn through your stash yarn very, very quickly. And if you do happen to make a mistake and you want to, get rid of those little tufts of yarn and you've pulled them all out, the problem is that all of your yarn is like in tiny little chopped up bits now. And so it's not reusable at this point in time unless you collect it and use it for stuffing for another project. But it's not like you can feed this back through the tufting gun and then have it go back into the fabric. So that's all going to be waste. So that's where it feels kind of like you need to get a good amount of practice so that you really feel comfortable with the tool so that you don't actually end up wasting a bunch of yarn. The other thing that I found that would help is that as you're getting started, the easiest motion is basically to punch in, push forward, and then move the gun up. So you're always making these straight lines upwards, and that works really well because the yarn flows through very easily and everything. Now, the pattern that I chose to do has all these curves in it, of course. So the curves are a little bit more challenging to work. And so you have to either go slower or you have to figure out how to move the tool in the curve and match the speed at which all of the yarn is coming out. So that is absolutely something else that takes practice. But if you're getting started, maybe you could start with a bunch of projects where you're basically making grids or squares, or maybe you make a bunch of coasters and then try some curvy lines a little bit later. So yeah, there's definitely room for a lot of practice. Finally, if you love this kind of very productive feeling, you love, using a lot of yarn very quickly, all of that kind of stuff, I think that this Clawlab H1 kit is a great place to start. If you are on the flip side, somebody who wants to work very slowly and methodically and just, work with a tool in your lap and then be able to punch more slowly and create exact placement of where you want all of those tufts to go, then perhaps punch needle is something that you would prefer. So these are, lots of different ways to use yarn, lots of different ways to create textiles. It just all depends on how you feel, what you enjoy doing, and what you want to create. So if you are interested in a tool like this, I have put the link in the description box below. So if you want to grab one for yourself, please let me know in the comments. Are you interested in this sort of rug tufting, or are you more interested in punch needle? What kind of things would you like to make with your stash yarn? I would love to hear more about it. As I said, this is one of the things that I wanted to try this year for the first time ever, and I'm always open to learning new things, and I love being a beginner and trying things for the first time. So I am excited to see if you guys jump into this as well. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. All right, bye for now.